Good evening, good afternoon, and good evening. Brett B once again. We do have Guy Tasker in the party, but chances are we probably won't see him. Sorry. So, Mark, welcome to the broadcast, and I talked to Guy Tasker about this morning with F4. How would you describe if Russia without being overly cliche in 3 words?
um, Quick, um, corner cutting, um, yeah, yeah, that's it.
Well, they were all overly cliche, but I'll let you away with it because it's like 5 in the morning over there for you. So, um, either which way, we've got still a very disappointing 11 cars for today's Grand Prix, running a bit of a different scheme to what people would have seen this morning, an online championship. We were actually meant to demo this for F4 this morning, but I completely forgot. So we're going to be demoing it for Russia today for the F3, and then we'll be doing it again also for F1 and F2, in hopes that we can eliminate some of these bugs that have been happening over the course of the last few rounds. Just waiting for the timer to start counting down, which it just has now. Just gonna check on the comments every now and again.
Just want to give a quick shout out, Brett, before we get racing to a couple of people, if that's okay.
Yep, go for it.
Diogo Cruz, one of our fellow racers, it's his birthday today, so just a quick shout out to him. And a shout out to my daughter and my mother-in-law. It's their birthday today as well, so
Which
just
one
happy
gets
birthday
spoilt
to the
more?
three people. None of them.
Fair enough.
None of them. So yeah. Just hope you all have a good birthday.
Yep, so happy birthday to those three aforementioned people. Can't really say other birthday I can have a shout out to is Alex Little, who had his birthday over the week. Big 2-0, I think it was. I'm not 100% sure. He was born on a leap year, so he's probably all of 4 years old today. So, well, 4 years old this year. So happy fourth birthday, Alex. Anyway, so overcast conditions for Russia. It looks like for the F3 category. Looking a little interesting for the weather. We saw an interesting qualifying with Red Bull taking pole and the win in F4 with Matthew Coyer. Albert Ramirez Garcia is taking the championship points lead. I think we might have just got a weather update from the YouTube channel. Clear weather, so no rain at all, so just overcast conditions it looks like.
As we've got a Ferrari coming out. It's Conman, I do believe that's Ryan, is that Ryan?
Yeah, that's Ryan Connolly. And followed behind by one of the Red Bulls, which Luca. I think is Luca. Yep, Luca Mundagheza. So Ryan will be our first provisional time setter for this weekend. Well, unless he gives up positions on the get-go.
Robin comes out as well in the Williams.
And a special mention too to Ashley Lawrence.
Luca's building the fence.
Oh really?
Sorry, Brett. Yeah, Luca's in the fence. I can't even see where that is. Must be turn.
That's turn 3. Yeah, well, turn 4, yeah. Turn 3, turn 4, whatever you want to call it. He's lost his entire front wing assembly. Special mention, actually, now I'll put a shout out to it. Ashley Lawrence, PLX Blaze, in position 10 on the leaderboard at the moment. He is having celebrating his birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Actually, no, that's not turn 3 or turn 4. He's gone off at turn 1. Yeah, Luca's gone off at turn 1.
Yeah, right. There you go.
That's interesting. He did make a bit of a cheeky dig at Yevgeny Delacroix about not crashing into him. Ashley, I refer to, after what happened in F3 Singapore last weekend when Ashley didn't make the first lap through to an on-track collision with Yevgeny, which put him out of the race and made Yevgeny work for position. So championship stands at the moment sits at I think 5 or 6 point lead. Matthew Elliott over Sterling West now. Sterling, after his win in Singapore, elevating him over Yevgeny up into P2. A couple of different names mentioned. One that keeps popping up and down. Rudy keeps chopping and changing between himself. He'll be permanently F3 from this point onwards, so this will be the last time you ever see him in F4. So he just keeps alternating his choices. But also you see Ghost Recon, Nicholas Adams. He's now full-time F3. He was F3 originally, but then was demoted to F4 because of lack of attendance. But now lack of attendance initially, and now he's been able. It looks like F4 might be too early for him, but as opposed to Omar Roman not being on for continuous races, it's been seen fit to promote Nicholas back up into F3, stays at the Williams side of things, and we'll see how he plays along. Said he had a very disappointing Singapore last weekend. I just find it amusing how all of our chat, YouTube chat comments are all drivers pretty much from the TNF one, whether it's in category or not. Ryan Connolly now sets up.
Ryan goes over 32.5,
which isn't too bad for a Hypersoft, or was that Ultras?
Yeah, I think it's Hypers.
Yeah, it is Hypers, and Nicholas Adams go to the P2. Sterling West with a 31.
Goes 31. Oh, excuse me. 31.3.
Tyler Beasley in P2 with a 32.5 on the soft tyre.
No, P3, Brett.
Yeah, either which way I wouldn't be using. I'm a bit surprised he's using the soft tyre because it's an easy hyper to ultra stint, so...
Yeah, he's one-stop race anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's... Ooh, he almost understeered into Sterling, who was getting out of the way. That was quite an amusing piece there. So Robin Kreft now up to position 6 with a 33.8.
Yeah, the Rudy does a 33.4
on the ultra
flag in sector 2. That must just be people getting out of the way.
Now there's been conjectured rumours, just to let you know, Oliver Coleman, Coleman, whatever his numbers is, has left the TNF1. Rumours speculate that Robin Kreft could be a potential candidate to replace him in F2 Red Bull. So that would be that'd be a good feat for him if that's to come true. The other candidate is called Sterling West, but Sterling has made it pretty abundantly clear that this season time for F2 isn't quite where he wants to be. Matthew Elliott has gone up to P2 on a 32 flat.
Very well done there by a championship leader.
And that's also 32 flat. So he's only just under a second slower than Sterling West, but that's still a really good representative time despite that. And given that he's trying to hold on to that championship lead as long as possible, starting on the front row is definitely a good way to do that.
And keep out of all the carnage that will be turns 1, 2.
Well, we kind of had a bit of a clean start for F4. it was not until the actual
You'd expect that with only 8
the
cars on the grid, though, wouldn't you?
well, you'd think so, but yeah, we still had like people going off at the our turn one, not the proposed turn one, but you know, next to that there was no real major issues. Is Matt going on with this, or is he gonna box in this lap? So looks like he's going on with it. No, he's changed his mind
No.
at the very last second.
Boxed. So we're still yet to see Klaus and Yevgeny come out. So they always seem to play this strategy. They always wait a bit, don't they?
And Luca
retired.
No, I don't think he's retired. I think he's probably put it in the fence somewhere, but...
Well, he was... Oh, yeah, because he was out of pit, sorry. Yep.
So the current order is Sterling West from Matthew Elliott, Ryan Connolly, Tyler Beasley, Nicholas Adams, Rudy, Robin Kreft, Luca Monteghezza, which is now changed to Ashley Lawrence, Luca Monteghezza, Klaus Vassimir, and Evgeny Delacruz back down, backing up the rear of the field, but that won't last, I can imagine, that much.
No, they always seem to do this strategy. They wait until the last couple of minutes and just give themselves 1, maybe 2 flying laps.
Which I suppose isn't a bad plan, because if you think about it, the more pressure you have, if you can adapt well to pressure, doing a flying lap with having only 1 or 2 flying laps to have a go at it isn't a bad call to make. But if you're like me and you crack under pressure quite easily, then going trying to wait for the last few minutes and do 1 or 2 flying laps is a pretty bold, risky move.
And it's pretty easy to track extend around here. You've only got to be, a split second off of your steering input. Either way, before the corner or after the corner, and it's quite easy to pick up a track extension and invalidate your lap. So I'm quite surprised that they're still in pits with 8 minutes, well, just under 9 minutes to go. So we say that Yevgeny comes out.
Both are out,
as well,
so separated by quite a bit of a margin between the two. So they're obviously, my initial plan would have been Klaus would have used, well, Yevgeny would have used Klaus as a slipstream effect, but it looks like they don't seem to want to play that kind of strategy. Which, fair enough, I suppose, if you don't want to get pole position because of that, go right ahead. Sterling West has come back out on the hypers, and this is probably one of the very few tracks where you're going to see people try and do variant strategies. It's probably more logical to start on the hypers, go on the ultras and go to the end. There are a couple of people that have elected to go the other way and go the ultra soft first, then the hyper soft, because then you have the faster tyre at the end. And then you've got Tyler Beasley, who is confusing the absolute hell out of me. In fact, speaking of Tyler Beasley, he's made a mistake coming out of the off-camber S's. He's confusing the heck out of me by running on the soft tyre when it's definite that you could be on the hypers or the ultras, which are the faster tyre, and still be guaranteed to go to the end. I mean, running on the soft is a surefire way of going to the end on the strategy, but it's not necessarily the quickest strategy to... That's bizarre. Oh, okay.
Can you just do a drive-through?
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself. But I can't. It's like his car's gone. It's almost like he's retired from the session because I can't actually...
Yeah, I can't view it either. So hopefully that fixes itself. But as you're saying that, Brett, I noticed Robin and Blaze are out on the softs as well. So whether or not the Sterling goes quicker with a 30.3, but the first car in the 30s.
Well, to be perfectly fair, that's, I think, Oh no, there was some cars on the 31s in F4, but I'm sure Matt will respond to this.
He just overshoots turn 2, takes a little shortcut.
What we'll do is we'll hopefully not put too much pressure on Matt as we ride on board with him, and we'll do, Mark, if you want, take us on a virtual lap around.
Yep, so here he comes into the final corner. On the power nice and early. So here we come into turn 1. This is a technically a turn according to FIA rules. As Ghost Recon comes out the pits, hopefully gets out of the way from that. Turns 2 and 3, he's a little bit deep into 2. Gets exit on 3 properly. Really long left-hander for 4. And you straighten the car up hard on the brakes for 5. And this is what I mean here, ladies and gentlemen. It's very easy to get a corner cut. If you're an inch too early, you can cut the inside of the corners. Done that quite nicely. Lefgano gets out of the way for him. That's very good. So he's into a bit of a slide there coming out of that one. You got this double apex left. You got another 80-degree corner right onto the back straight. Opens his DRS, so it's. I haven't been watching the lap data at the moment. It doesn't seem to be too bad of a lap.
33 flat into...
And you come into the back sector here with the quick right lefts. And it's nicely taken into the final couple of corners.
Ooh, that could be an invalidation.
Very close to the wall. Can we get these last 2 done nicely? Down to second gear, I'd take that down to third. But
it's an improvement.
It is an improvement. 31.9.
Evgena's gone up to P2 with a 31.5.
Oh, yeah.
So top 3 in the championship, top 3, not in particular championship order, but top 3 in the top 3 positions. So I have to say Matthew Elliott's qualifying has improved substantially over the course of the last few races. He's just been usually in the past we've seen him mid-pack, sort of back end of the top 10 sort of thing, and now look at him, he's up the front fighting for position and looking generally strong, actually, just by his sheer nature. I mean, Sterling's obviously got the measure of everyone with his blazing time, but it looks like that situation with Tyler's fixed up as well, and Tyler's actually now out on the
Tyler's just at the second DRS zone, coming into the back of it.
So what can Tyler do on a fresh set of Ultra Softs?
Bit of a front left lock up there.
Looks like Ashley's either given it up or has crashed as well, and that's his qualifying over. Here comes Tyler around the last 2 corners. What can he pull out? It's going to be a 30.8.
Jesus, that's a very good lap.
And that's on Ultras alone. So he could jump on a set of Hypers and be a real threat today. So
no, you won't have time to get back around and put Ultras on now, though.
No, so different variant strategy.
Klaus is the only one that currently driving that hasn't set a lap.
That's in the sector 1, 2 and 3. That's an unusual...
Yeah. There is a lot of cars on the track though at the moment. Everybody's pretty much out.
Looks like the only person that's back in, he won't.
Matthew change tyres and come back out, I would expect.
Sterling would probably be the same. He'll feel threatened now that someone's moved up to P2. Oh no, Tyler's given it up, so... No, actually you made that point, because he couldn't get back around, so... I'd say Sterling will come... Well, Sterling won't feel threatened now, because he will know that Tyler can't improve his time. Yevgeny is back out on a set of Hypers. Not sure whether that time he's... Actually, I'll probably check that for you.
Matthew's leaving a little bit late if he's going to come back out. I don't think he will.
I think
back around now.
Yeah, I think he's I don't think he was planning a second run from the looks of it. I think he might have just looked to... Oh no, you might be wrong. He's coming out now. The game would have told him that...
Well, if he can get around in a minute 10, he's bloody doing well. He's hiding.
We'll just pay attention and see what he does. I was halfway expecting him to corner cut from here. Because as long as you don't corner cut the last sector, I believe, you can corner cut the rest of the circuit and make time. But maybe he's not even... Maybe he's just checking... Because as you can see, Sterling's come out. Oh no, Sterling has gone back out, so I wonder if Sterling's trying to make a statement or whether he's just trying to see how well these tyres handle. But looks like Matt's got no threat, ideally, from those behind. Ryan's probably the closest one that could displace...
Sterling's going to be very close to getting onto this fly.
Going around the last Benham.
6 seconds.
Okay, just 6 seconds here. Yevgeny has actually packed it in, so Matt's not going to make it at all, but my guess is that he was just trying to get an understanding for his car, maybe. It's hard to say.
So can Ryan jump him? He's only got to find a 10th. 10th and a bit.
He's pushing for it.
And then Robin's right there as well, so Matthew could get bumped here a couple of spots, which would be a shame, but...
Rudy's giving it in.
Rudy...
Raikkonen's... Sterling's giving it away, so he must have invalidated. And Robin's in the pit, so he won't improve. Ryan's just given the wall a very massive clout.
A very big hit, yeah.
That almost looked like a distraction type of incident. So I don't think we'll see an improvement here. Actually, you pretty much very well won't see an improvement here.
He's hopped out of the lap.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to bring the car across the line. So P5 for Ryan Connolly, which will do some wonders for his championship. He's still looking quite comfortable in P4 in the championship at the moment. We're just waiting for Robin now to retire from the session, which he's just have. So that's qualifying concluded. That's another pole position for Sterling West, and another impressive qualifying from Tyler Beasley to sit P2 on the ultra soft tyre. I would think that if he was on the hypers, we could have seen a 29. And Tyler copping a bit of slack from us commentators a little bit over the last few weeks, where we've criticised his assist range, we've done all this kind of stuff. He's now elected to try and run no assist, so if that's a no assist time, that is very, very impressive for a driver that's gone from near full assist to no assist.
Nothing at all.
If only there was a thing on this. Check the assists on people through Race Director or whatnot, but either which way, it's looking like it's going to be an interesting race. Our championship points leader sitting P4, which is still a very good qualifying for him. Not his career best. His career best came in China, I think it was, with a P3. Season best, well, career best race of P3 in Australia. We'll see if he can go that 2 steps better and claim his first win of the season. Russia is always one of those possibilities that if you... I don't run all assists off, only have Racing Line on. I'm streaming to prove it. So okay, so it's the thing about it though, Tyler, and since you're listening, is that everyone in F1 pretty much is racing only Racing Line as well. So to do that from pretty much nearly everything is a very well accomplished job, and I tip my hat off to you for being able to be in position for that so quickly. So I'm going to let Mark run us through the TKO Media starting grid, as Matthew's already been
with Luca. Yeah, so we've got Sterling West in P1. I forgot your name already, Bullet Boy. And
Tyler Beasley.
P2. Tyler, sorry mate. Yevgeny in P3. Matthew Elliott P4. Ryan Connolly P5. Robin in P6 in the Williams. Rudy in P7. Ghost Recon P8. Blaze in P9, Luca P10, and Klaus at the back in P11.
I don't know if you just noticed that or whether you were looking through the field but Sterling West just went off at turn 6, straight